Okay, Waterloo Region market update for spring 2024. Right, start off with median sale prices. Still really flat. They're trying their best to climb up from the March to September 22 correction. Think two steps forward, one step back, or one and a half steps back. Admittedly, there is some upward trend in median prices, but basically they're where they were in the third quarter of 2022. One interesting point, though, is that the median price in April was around 750, and the average was around 800,000. That's a slightly wider gap than usual, indicating perhaps that a number of higher end properties were, well, they were clearly selling. So for those of you who need a recap on the average median thing, think Bill Gates moves into your neighborhood. The average sale price is going to go up, but the median is probably going to stay the same, right? Now, when looking at prices by property type, more or less the same story. Nothing significant here. No big swings between types. Condos and semis were down slightly. Towns and single detached are up somewhat. That again, maybe shedding some light on the average median separation. Single detached, of course, are more expensive. Now, total sales, yeah, still really sluggish. So April of this year was basically on par with April of last year, with 695 and 670 sales respectively. For some context, April of 2011, 778 sales. And each year since then, that opening of the spring market has been higher than 23 and 24. So anyway, things are slow on the sales front. Now, as far as supply goes, increasing supply is one of the big factors in the market we should be keeping our eye on. So month supply homes for sale has been climbing steadily since about December of 21 and has not been this high, in fact, since November of 15. Now, for some context again, we're currently at 2.5 months of inventory. So what this means is that it would take 2.5 months to sell everything that is on the market today. In December of 21, it would have taken 10 days. So we're moving from days to months. Now, in this market, 2.5 months is more or less what we expect, kind of looking historically. But certainly since the pandemic, 2.5 is definitely a lot higher than what we're used to here in Waterloo Region. Anyway, good thing for buyers, not so great perhaps if you are a seller. But again, 2.5 months, it's not catastrophic, but again, something to keep our eye on. Showings thus far in 2024 have actually been stronger than in both 22 and 23. So clearly we have people out looking at houses. One interesting note maybe is to see that March showings were lower than February's. Not the norm, but May numbers appear to be robust so far. And this is being calculated right at the end of May. So we don't have 100% of those numbers, but it's looking like it's doing well. Now, one reason the showing numbers are stronger than in the past 2 years may have to do with, again, supply, right? So think this way. 2 years ago, you're out on a Saturday, maybe there were 2 or 3 houses to see on a tour. Now there might be 4 or 5, right? So there's still only one house being sold, but it's going to register more showings, if that makes sense. Next, sale price to list price, yet again over 100%, guys, please, sitting at 104. So a number of sellers are still pricing low and holding offers in the hopes of multiples, right? Nowhere near the 30% over asking of 22 at that height. So that's good news, I suppose. Again, context, with the exception of 2017, 18, and obviously the pandemic, the sale to list ratio is normally 96 to 98% of asking. So in practical terms, if you think your house is worth 700,000, listed at 725, that's normal, not 500,000. Finally, we'll take a look at historic median prices from 2011 to present, and we'll drop a trend line. Second order poly for the sports fans at home. We can see prices well below where we would have guessed they would have been if we were looking forward from 2011. Make of this what you will, but I think I call it the COVID hangover, where the market is still recovering from the, let's call it what it was, irresponsibility and frenzy of 2020 and 22. There was coming out of that, and to a degree still is, a general feeling on the buying side of the market of enough. Now, that's going to cycle out with time, of course, but I do think it's still there to some degree. Anyway, in conclusion, prices still struggling, inventory is trending up. We want to watch that, and the number of sales is still stubbornly low. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Happy to hear from you. Contact information is in the description below. And listen, if you made it this far, please consider taking 2 seconds to like, subscribe. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.